Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining. We're going to go ahead and get started here in just a moment. In the meantime, if you want to take a moment to drop your name, company, role in the chat, love to see who's here. Also, if you do have any questions too, feel free to drop those in the chat. We'll have a Q&A towards the end, um, but we'll also be able to come off mute for that too. So I'll just give everyone just a few more seconds to roll in here. All right, I'll go ahead and get started. All right, so welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar from data chaos to AI-powered decisions in manufacturing. Again, if you want to take a moment to drop your name, your company, and the role that you're in, love to see all who's here today. So today's session is hosted by Lifescale Analytics. We'll be talking about why so many manufacturers are data rich but insight poor, and what it takes to change that. I'm going to go ahead and turn over to our speaker today. His name is Theo Lautner. I know originally we were supposed to have Dan present for us, but Theo is taking over here for today. So Theo, go ahead and turn over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Connor, and thanks everybody for joining us today. We're going to talk about a challenge nearly every manufacturer is facing, having more data than ever, but less clarity than expected. Across manufacturing environments, data is coming from everywhere: machines, ERP systems, quality tools, maintenance logs, spreadsheets, you name it. And yet when something goes wrong, teams often struggle to get the answers they need quickly. This isn't a technology problem. It's not a lack of effort. It's a clarity problem. And today's session is about how manufacturers can move from data chaos to AI-powered decisions, not through hype or massive system replacements, but through practical, structured steps that create trust, visibility, and momentum. So let's get started. A little bit about Lifescale Analytics. Here our mission is to help organizations turn data into informed, actionable decisions. We've been doing this since 2012, supporting organizations across manufacturing, government, energy, agriculture, healthcare, and financial services. Our work spans both cloud and on-prem environments, from data architecture and engineering to analytics, AI, and geospatial solutions. What that experience gives us is a clear view into how data actually behaves in real operations, not how it's supposed to work on paper. And one of the most consistent patterns we see in manufacturing is this: companies are collecting massive amounts of data, but still struggle to get timely, trusted insights when they need them most. Today's session will follow a simple, practical flow. We'll start by looking at the current data reality in manufacturing, why having more data hasn't translated into better visibility or faster decisions. Next, we'll walk through the most common bottlenecks, where systems, processes, and teams tend to break down. From there, we'll explore the opportunity, how analytics and AI can drive real, measurable results when built on the right foundation. We'll then bring this to life through real manufacturing use cases focused on uptime, quality, efficiency, and cost control. And finally, we'll close with a practical path forward, a roadmap for moving toward AI-powered decisions without disrupting production or overhauling existing systems. So picture this. You have a $10,000 per hour production line and it suddenly goes down. The data needed to diagnose the issue exists, but it's scattered across systems, teams, and spreadsheets. ERP data is owned by one team. Machine data lives in a separate system. Maintenance logs are somewhere else, and quality data sits in spreadsheets. By the time the right people find the right data, production has already stalled. Decisions become reactive and costs start to mount. And teams spend more time chasing data than fixing the problem. The issue isn't lack of data, it's lack of visibility, speed, trust. And for most manufacturers, this isn't a rare event, it's a daily event. So manufacturers are generating more data than ever, but they're getting fewer usable insights from it. Despite years of investment, automation, connected systems, much of the data still requires manual effort to collect, clean, and interpret. Today, 70% of manufacturers still rely on manual data entry. 80% of manufacturing data isn't even actively used. And yet nearly 3/4 of manufacturers have already invested or plan to invest in machine learning. This tells us something important. The challenge isn't willingness, it's readiness. AI and advanced analytics are no longer optional, but without a strong data foundation, they can't deliver meaningful results. This moment represents an inflection point. Manufacturers who create clarity and trust in their data will pull ahead, and those who don't will struggle to scale AI beyond pilots. Today's manufacturing environment is a mix of real progress and real frustration. On one hand, machines are more connected than ever, smart systems are generating enormous amounts of operational data, and there's broad recognition that this data should be driving better decisions. At the same time, that data is fragmented, spread across systems, locked in silos, and often owned by different teams. So data definitions don't always match, numbers conflict, and teams don't always trust what they're seeing. So while manufacturers are collecting more data than ever, clarity, trust, and alignment remain elusive. That gap is what we've been working on, and what's standing in the way is where most organizations find themselves today.
Awesome. Thanks, Theo. Before we move on, I do want to do a quick poll so we can get a sense of where everyone is at today. You should see the poll come up here on your screen in just a moment. But what we're asking here is, which best describes your manufacturing environment today across enterprise systems and industrial equipment? Is it going to be data lives mostly in spreadsheets, manual reports, or equipment-specific systems? Dashboards exist, but data is inconsistent or siloed across systems and equipment. Some integration across systems and equipment, but insights aren't trusted. Connected systems with growing analytics capabilities, or advanced analytics or AI already in place, but not scaled. Give that just a few more seconds. All right. So it looks like we're pretty split between dashboards exist, but data is inconsistent or siloed across systems, and connected systems with growing analytics capabilities. So, and as we look at the results, you'll likely see more, many organizations facing similar challenges. So we're going to keep these responses in mind as we move through the rest of the session. So thank you all for that.
Thanks, Connor. So every machine, line, and process in a manufacturing environment generates data, but too often that data is siloed, inconsistent, or underused. The issue isn't data volume, it's the absence of a unified strategy that makes data accessible, reliable, and actionable. When data isn't trusted, teams hesitate, double-check numbers, or ignore insights altogether. And that lack of clarity directly impacts speed, efficiency, and decision-making across the organization. Most manufacturers collect plenty of data, but without trust, that data can't drive decisions. When teams don't trust the numbers, they hesitate. They double-check results and build their own versions of reports. Or they ignore the data altogether and rely on instinct. The result is slower decision-making, reactive operations, and missed opportunities. Data trust isn't about having perfect data. It's about having consistent, transparent, and reliable data that teams are confident using. Without trust, analytics stall. But with trust, decisions accelerate. Every manufacturer is on a data journey. The question isn't whether you're doing it right or wrong, it's simply where you are today. Some organizations are still dealing with disconnected systems, where critical information lives in silos across machines, departments, and platforms. Others struggle with inconsistent data, conflicting formats, and definitions that make it hard to see a single, reliable picture. Many teams face limited accessibility, where data exists, but it's difficult to find, trust, or use when it's needed. And without a clear strategy, data tends to be used reactively. So the goal isn't to jump to the deep end overnight. It's to recognize your current stage and move forward with intentionality. So what's holding most manufacturers back then? Well, the data exists, but it's fragmented, inconsistent, and hard to act on. Disconnected systems keep critical information locked in silos. Inconsistent data creates confusion and erodes trust. Limited accessibility makes it difficult for teams to get the information they need when they need it. These challenges aren't isolated issues, they reinforce each other, making it harder for manufacturers to move forward.
Awesome. So I'm going to pause here again and do another quick poll. See it launch on your screen here in just a moment. But which of the following causes the most operational disruption in your environment? Is it unplanned downtime, quality issues or rework, lack of real-time visibility, supply chain variability, or rising operating costs? Whatever option best reflects your data to operations, feel free to go ahead and select that. Go ahead and close the poll here now. Looks like most prominent answer here is unplanned downtime. So thank you for those responses here again. Again, common issues across manufacturing. Theo, I'll go ahead and hand it back over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Connor. So disruptions show up differently in every organization, but they're all symptoms of the same underlying issue, disconnected data. When data is disconnected, teams can't see problems early and decisions slow down. Insights arrive too late and costs rise. Unplanned downtime, which was really important to this group, quality issues, yield loss, supply chain risk, and rising costs all trace back to fragmented data and limited visibility. The good news is that these challenges aren't permanent. With the right data strategy, they become opportunities to improve performance, reduce risk, and gain control. However, when data is connected, trusted, and actionable, manufacturing challenges shift from constant firefighting to strategic improvement. Unplanned downtime becomes predictive maintenance. Quality issues turn into real-time quality insights. Yield loss gives way to optimized efficiency. Supply chain risk becomes end-to-end visibility, and rising costs turn into data-driven cost control. So a strong data strategy doesn't just solve problems, it creates leverage. It allows teams to anticipate issues, act faster, and make decisions with confidence. Moving from data chaos to clarity doesn't happen all at once. It happens through deliberate, practical steps. The first step, getting a visibility into the data landscape. How is data captured, managed, and shared? Where are there silos or inconsistencies? That visibility enables alignment. When people, processes, and technology are working toward the same goals, data initiatives can be tied directly to business outcomes. And from there, organizations can establish a trusted, scalable data foundation. This is what allows teams to shift from reacting to issues to predicting and preventing them. And that foundation is what makes sustainable analytics and AI adoption possible.
Awesome. Thanks, Theo. All right. Time for our next poll. You see that pop on your screen now. So which of the following best describes your organization's analytics or AI readiness? Is it no formal analytics or AI strategy? Analytics exist but are mostly descriptive. Predictive analytics and limited use cases. AI pilots underway but not scaled, or AI actively driving operational decisions. So please take a moment to select the option that best reflects where your organization is today. I'll close the poll here in about 15 seconds or so. Awesome. So it looks like most of what was picked is no formal analytics or AI strategy. So thank you all for these responses. They're helpful and help highlight just how varied AI maturity is across manufacturing and why a structured, practical path forward is so important. So Theo, I'll now pass it back over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Connor. Well, up to this point, we've talked about the reality many manufacturers face today: disconnected data, limited trust, and the difficulty of turning insight into action, especially as organizations look toward analytics and AI. So the natural question becomes, how do you move forward without disrupting production or starting from scratch? That's where ScalyticsIQ comes in. Lifescale Analytics ScalyticsIQ is a streamlined, repeatable framework designed specifically to help manufacturers turn fragmented data into actionable intelligence. It's built for speed, structure, and sustainability, bringing together modern data architecture, automation, and AI to move organizations from visibility to prediction to automation. And it does this without costly system overhauls or disruption to production. Scaletics IQ isn't a single tool or platform. It's a practical approach that helps manufacturers create trusted data, accelerate insights, and scale analytics and AI with confidence. The result is faster decision making, stronger data trust, and a clear path forward no matter where you're starting today. To help manufacturers move from strategy to action rather, Scaletics IQ is delivered through 5 targeted use cases, each focused on a specific operational outcome. Predictive maintenance, for example, helps teams anticipate equipment failures before they happen, reducing unplanned downtime. Quality control automation detects defects earlier in the production process, improving consistency and reducing rework and scrap. Operational efficiency optimization uses production and process data to identify bottlenecks, yield loss, and improvement opportunities. End-to-end visibility connects data across systems and facilities to provide a real-time view of operations, supply chain, and performance. Data-driven cost control uses trusted analytics to identify waste, inefficiencies, and cost drivers across the operation. Together, these use cases provide fast wins while building the foundation for scalable analytics and AI. I was excited to see everybody picked predictive maintenance, so we'll start with that. We'll start with predictive maintenance. It's often where manufacturers see the fastest and most measurable return. Unplanned downtime is one of the most expensive challenges in manufacturing. In this scenario, a manufacturer was expecting unexpected failures and relying on reactive maintenance or fixed schedules that didn't reflect actual equipment condition. Using Scaletics IQ, machine sensor data, maintenance records, and operational history, these were all unified into a single analytics environment. Predictive models were then applied to identify early warning signs of failure before the breakdowns occurred. The outcome was a shift from reactive to proactive maintenance. Downtime was reduced, production schedules became more reliable, and maintenance teams were able to plan interventions based on real equipment health and not assumptions. Once maintenance issues are addressed proactively, quality is often the next area where manufacturers see immediate gains. Quality issues often aren't discovered until after production is complete, when rework, scrap, and delays are already unavoidable. In this example, quality inspections were manual and inconsistent, and defects were identified too late in the process. With Scaletics IQ, Quality data from inspection systems, production equipment, and historical defect records were integrated into a single environment. Real-time analytics monitored key quality indicators and flagged anomalies as they occurred. The result was earlier defect detection, improved product quality, reduced rework and scrap, and greater confidence in quality metrics across teams. So I want to close today by reinforcing a few key takeaways. 1, manufacturers don't lack data. They lack clarity. And when data is siloed or inconsistent, it creates blind spots that slow decisions and increase risk. Trusted data changes that. When teams can rely on what they see, decisions become faster and more confident. A unified data strategy is what unlocks that trust. Aligning systems, people, and processes is what turns operational challenges into measurable outcomes. Of course, that requires the right foundation. Modern data architecture and governance enable real-time analytics and AI without disrupting production. And it's important to remember that AI maturity is a journey. Organizations progress from visibility to prediction to automation over time. ScalyticsIQ is designed to accelerate that journey, delivering quick wins today while supporting long-term scale and return on investment.
Awesome. Thanks, Theo. So before we wrap up, let's do one final poll. So what's the biggest barrier to your organization scaling analytics or AI manufacturing? Is it siloed systems and data quality or governance concerns, limited internal expertise, cost or unclear ROI, or security or compliance constraints? Whatever best reflects your organization today, go ahead and pick that. So I'll give you all just a few more seconds. Looks like what was mostly picked was data quality or governance concerns. So thank you all. I mean, these results are super helpful. Gives you a chance to reflect as well. And again, I mean, this is what we do see across manufacturing. So we're going to keep that in mind as we close out with the next practical steps. So Theo, back to you.
Thank you, Connor. Well, as we wrap up, we want to leave you with one simple next step. If what we discussed today resonates, whether it's unplanned downtime, quality issues, limited visibility, or challenges scaling analytics, there's likely value already hidden in your existing data. So we're offering a free 60-minute discovery call. And that conversation will help you identify 2 to 3 measurable ROI opportunities using the data and systems you already have. No prep required, no cost, and no obligation. With that, let's open it up for questions. If you have a question, feel free to type it into the chat or QA panel, and we'll do our best to address as many as we can in the time we have left.
And if you don't want to use the chat, everyone should now have the ability to come off mute as well if they would like to.
We answered all their questions, Connor.
You know what? It was a pretty thorough presentation, so we just might have. Uh, well, Dan, I guess if you do want to go ahead and, I mean, I'm sorry, Theo, if you do want to go ahead and close this out, feel free to do so, and then we can stick around here until 3:30 if anyone does want to ask any questions.
Sure, great. Well, thank you again for taking the time to join us today. We hope the session helped clarify why so many manufacturers struggle with data and how a structured practical approach can turn that data into real operational value. If you'd like to continue the conversation, you can reach us at our contact information on the screen, and we encourage you to take advantage of the free discovery call we mentioned earlier. Thanks again, and we hope to connect with you soon.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
John. All right. Well, sweet. Well, I think that'll wrap us up then. Theo, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Connor, for facilitating. I
Yeah.
appreciate the opportunity to talk with everybody today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everything went smoothly. So I'll talk to you soon now. I'm gonna go ahead and end this then.
Okay, thanks, Connor.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks, man.
Mario.